Hey, Floyd, what was your reaction to the fight, man? What was your reaction to the fight, man?
Nah, which one Lamont won? Who you got win? Lamont.
Man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as.
Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach bout, sharing his thoughts on the outcome. The boxing world exploded after the fight ended in controversy. Shakur Stevenson also reacted strongly, insisting it wasn't a draw and that Roach won. He criticized Davis for being overconfident and underestimating Roach's skills. Stevenson believes Davis assumed Roach wasn't a real threat, which led to his struggles in the ring. Fans echoed Stevenson's sentiments.
Which one Lamont won? Who you got win? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
You said what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in, they really...
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
Shakur tweeted about the Tank versus Roach match, stating, "My tight hit tonight for the people that don't know shit about boxing, and that the fight went exactly how he thought it would." Fans agreed, demanding a rematch. Renowned boxer and media personality Jake Paul expressed his disappointment in Davis's performance, stating that the fight lacked the intensity expected from a championship bout. Paul remarked that Davis needed to create more action, likening the match to a sparring session rather than a competitive fight. He further commented that this was not the Gervonta Davis he was familiar with, implying a deviation from Davis's usual aggressive style.
Man, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade weighed in on the fight, acknowledging Lamont Roach's impressive skills showcased during the bout. Andrade opined that the match should not have been ruled a draw, suggesting that Roach had done enough to secure a victory despite the controversial decision. Andrade praised the overall quality of the fight, highlighting the competitiveness and skill displayed by both fighters.
Right, Roach had something that we all wasn't expecting. He might have had power. His distance was good. He came in ready, prepared to fight, and he showcased that. And man, we had a good fight overall. It was a good IQ fight.
In all honesty, do you think Roach pulled it off?
I'm not going to say that at all. I don't think that the draw is good. You know. Other than that, it was a great fight. We'll love to see it again. It's me again, Caleb Plant, Chalo, Munguia, Edgar Berlanga, where the fuck you motherfuckers at? Let's get this shit happen. You already know. Stop playing. Let's get these shits popping, man. Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
I mean, 100%. What do you think about Berlanga's obviously opponent that he chose? I mean,
lightweight contender Isaac Cruz expressed his disagreement with the draw decision, pointing out a critical moment where Davis took a knee during the fight. Cruz argued that the judges and referee failed to award Roach the appropriate points for this occurrence, which could have influenced the final outcome. He implied that this oversight contributed to the unjust draw.
Ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, pero ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todos los aficionados.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedaron a deber la caída a Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear, y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Y bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable. Ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Former world champion Dana Garcia reflected on the bout, describing it as a great fight that showcased the talents of both boxers. Regarding Gervonta Davis's performance, Garcia noted that not every night in boxing represents a fighter's best, suggesting that Davis may have had an off night. He emphasized the unpredictable nature of the sport and the challenges fighters face in maintaining peak performance consistently.
There's no doubt this was a statement.
Danny, what's going on, my man? What do you think of the fight?
Stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me, right?
Danny, what do you think of the fight, man? Are you surprised by the outcome? It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him?
Out.
Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. I thought it was a good fight.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley shared his thoughts on the fight's outcome, stating that draws are generally disappointing for both fans and the fighters involved. He highlighted that many expected Gervonta Davis to secure a knockout victory, especially considering that Lamont Roach had moved up in weight class for this fight. Lampley suggested that Davis's inability to knock out Roach could be seen as a setback in his career, potentially affecting his standing in the lightweight division.
For fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots, and he wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw to get that done. He tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and couldn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall picture of the fight.
Undefeated welterweight champion Terence Crawford took to social media to express his astonishment at the referee's decision not to count Davis's kneeing incident as a knockdown. Crawford's tweet highlighted his disbelief, suggesting that the officials may have overlooked standard boxing rules during the fight. He said, "I never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules for tonight."
Left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right.
He took a knee.
He took a knee. What is he doing?
He forgot his...
Former three-division world champion Abner Mares called for a rematch between Davis and Roach, asserting that Roach performed true to his capabilities, which many, including Davis, may have underestimated. Mares suggested that this underestimation contributed to the fight's outcome and that a rematch would allow both fighters to adjust their strategies accordingly.
That Roach closed the last 2 rounds, and then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, they should have counted, and you know those 2 points, like Roach said, you know, it would have been on his favor and he would have won the fight. But you know, I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will, and you know, we get more of a clear, you know, victor for either side.
How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach, and how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best?
It was more. Reason? It was more. Yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that. He was catching the punches really well, took them well, great combinations, and he just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And you know, great great performance by Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis. He's got to fight more. It's not as consistent with the fighting, and you know, again, the timing probably wasn't there for him this fight.
What does this say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as, top 5, top 10 pound.
You know what that's going to say about Tank now. Obviously, people are going to talk shit, and people are going to, put him, probably take him down on the pound for pound list, and, it is what it is. But so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make a statement, if it's with him or whoever else.
And lastly, Adam, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is it Keyshawn, Shakur, Tank? Do you think he can still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just...
Oh, Lamont's definitely there. Lamont can fight any of these guys.
A Washington, D.C.-based boxer commented on the potential repercussions of the fight's controversial outcome, expressing concern that Gervonta Davis's young and passionate fan base might react negatively, potentially leading to unrest. He noted a palpable negative energy surrounding the event, emphasizing the need for responsible management of fan reactions in such high-stakes situations.
My reaction for this Tank versus Roach fight, I'm really disappointed, to be honest. Like, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And the reason why is they leaving a negative energy out there. And a lot of y'all might not understand because y'all don't come from underserved environments or was never incarcerated or things like that. I'm from DC and I know how we get active. I know people from Baltimore and I know how they get active. When we talk about rivalries are cool. When I'm talking Commanders, Cowboys, stuff like that, that's friendly and cool. We talk our trash, but when we talking about when it's negative and we know that Tank have a young following, things like that, and I'm seeing certain people at these press conferences, violent individuals, and things can really turn out bad. So yeah, I understand they selling the fight and things like that, but certain things, it can get real bad. And I don't want to see nobody lose their life. Let this be a healthy rivalry. Y'all go in there, best man win, and fight over. It should be all love. We got to be careful of the message that we putting out. It's Mr. We Fit.
Post-fight remarks, Gervonta Davis acknowledged that the match was beneficial for the sport of boxing, praising Lamont Roach as a formidable opponent. He admitted that fans expect knockout from him given his track record and that a draw is not the desired outcome for a fighter of his reputation. Davis's comments reflect his awareness of the high expectations placed upon him and his recognition of Roach's skills.
For the sport, didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, is KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need, what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was.
Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's trainer, reiterated his previous assessments of Lamont Roach, emphasizing that he had always recognized Roach's talent and skill set. Ford's comments suggest that Team Davis was aware of the challenges Roach would present, acknowledging the competitive nature of the bout.
Night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, is KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw,
you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that. But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the. I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man.
Roach's performance was widely praised, with many saying he was the first fighter to truly challenge Davis. Fans have called for a rematch, believing that Roach deserves another chance to prove himself.
Lamont Roach definitely earned my respect tonight. Definitely one of the first fighters to put Tank to the test. Just matching fire with fire. That was a good fight. For me, I need to see a rematch ASAP. But yeah, Tank definitely took the knee, 100%. I see Roach winning that 7-5 personally, but boxing is business, so they were never going to let him have that win. Roach's timing was on point though. No easy knockouts tonight. Sharp counters, like. Real, very good fighter, very good fighter. Let me know what you guys think, if that robbery was fair or not. Leave it in the comments.
Many fans and analysts continue to argue that Roach was robbed, citing the moment when Davis took a knee but was not given a knockdown. This controversy has fueled the demand for a rematch.
Roach just got cheated, and Lamont Roach's fight versus Tank Davis just ended in a draw. And based on what I just seen, he was winning the fight. But you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is Tank Davis took a knee. When you take a knee in boxing, that's supposed to be an automatic, and then kept fighting. And to me, that makes no sense. How are you able to do that and not be a knockdown? Yo, boxing, bruh, cut your hair. This is boxing, man. Y'all dudes be trying to look too pretty. But with all that being said, it was a great fight. I just hate the ending. Give that man Lamont Roach the knockdown so he could go ahead and win.
For the first time in his career, Davis did not secure a knockout, and some of his fans were disappointed, even booing him after the fight. This reaction showed the high expectations surrounding him.
Oh my god, Gervonta just lost his perfect record. His fight with Lamont Roach was scored as a majority draw. Roach threw more punches and landed more punches on Gervonta. Just look at the numbers. And was this a knockdown? Roach after the fight wasn't satisfied, and he said if that was scored as a knockdown, he would have won the fight tonight. Gervonta after the fight said that some grease from his hair just got in his eyes and he couldn't see well. Crowd started booing Tank, his own crowd. We all know boxing fans. They love you one day, they hate you one day. That's exactly what Tank said. But what do you think really happened? Was that because Lamont is really that guy? Or is it because Tank really needs to take time to himself, retire, go back to school as he mentioned? I don't know. But you go ahead and comment, let's talk about it.
Davis' coach defended his fighter but also gave credit to Roach for his efforts. He emphasized that neither fighter clearly won and that Roach deserved respect.
Well, both of us back today was that again. Nobody won. Nobody won. He can sit there and say, I didn't get knocked out. That's the only thing that's good to say. I didn't get knocked out. Maybe that was his championship because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He fought a brilliant fight. Salute goes off to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was talking about retiring stuff. That might change that. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
MMA journalist Ariel Helwani speculated that this could be one of Davis' last fights, as he has hinted at retirement. He believes that the disappointing result might push Davis to step away from boxing sooner than expected.
The great Gervonta Tank Davis. He's returning to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach, who is moving up from super featherweight. Tank Davis is these days kind of averaging one fight a year, which is a shame. He wants to have 3 more fights and then retire by the end of 2025. Does he get 3 fights this year? Does he actually retire by the end of the year? Who knows? But this may be one of the last times we see him, at least for now. So catch him while you can. One of the most exciting, one of the most hard-hitting fighters in the sport, and we suspect once again that he wins, and I suspect that he wins via stoppage once again. He is one of the hardest hitting guys in the history of the sport, and we suspect that if he gets by Roach, there could be some big fights on the horizon this year. We don't know, but he's got to get by Lamont Roach first. That test goes down this Saturday in Brooklyn.
Even some Davis supporters admitted that Roach had fought well and handled Davis' power impressively. This shift in support has been one of the biggest surprises of the fight. Jalen Love stated that Lamont Roach outboxed Gervonta Davis in this fight. He believes Roach did enough to secure the victory and deserved to have his hand raised in the end.
What'd you think? The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against your Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. The boxing fans won. And shit.
About the knockdown,
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, and it's through to a blunt punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. If you touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, points, all different shit. So, you know, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown. But it is what it is. Can't let the cash cow go.
That's
You
the
filling out
business.
these arenas, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make
but
fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know they come from a great pedigree of boxing, and you've seen that tonight.